Hello everyone, Desert Gold here. Just finished up the video on MagSafe and home defense considerations for different types of rounds. Wanted to get to the less dramatic side, and the cleaning of the test weapons after the range. The less glamorous side of this. I wanted to do this in a couple of steps. I've already disassembled the Glock 20 and my Glock 27, and it's getting ready to take apart the 29. I wanted to show you a couple of things in preliminary considerations for weapon maintenance, at least that worked for me anyway. So let's take apart this. This is the 29 that I was using the other day at the range. I haven't taken it apart since then. We will do that now. Alright, the thing I want to show you is, with proper consideration to the types of powders that you're using and the way you lubricate your weapon, you will assist yourself substantially further down the line when it comes time for maintenance. And then let me demonstrate this. If you look at this slide, and we were shooting quite a few high-powered 10 mil rounds through the 29 and also the 20. I'll show you that slide in a minute too, but take a look at if I get this in the light properly. You don't see a lot in the way of powder residue or fouling in any respect in this slide. See? Now, I just took that weapon apart right in front of you. These are already disassembled, but I have done nothing in the way of preliminary maintenance or cleaning. It's all going to be done at the same time. Look at that slide too. It's like it hasn't been fired. This is the 27. And here's the 20. Now, what do I mean? I mean, as far as preparation, your types of, if you're hand loading, the types of powders that you choose, their burn rates, and whether they're going to burn dirty or they're going to be clean burning, fast burning powders, or some of the older powders that tend to leave a lot of residue after firing, can create cleaning issues for you later on. And sometimes people will look for reasons not to maintain their weapons because of having to face all the nastiness and hassle of cleaning all that residue out of all the nooks and crannies of these weapons. So if you take a preliminary stance to prevent that from occurring in the first place, it really speeds up the cleaning process. And here's the, I don't know if I'm going to get a good, you can see there's just nothing even in the lowers. That's 27. Actually, that's the 29. This is the 27. doggone clean already, aren't they? And the 20. Some light brushing will have these things ready to go very quickly. The other aspects that we're going to get into, barrel cleaning and finally lubrication, how to lubricate these polymers so that they are properly lubed but not over lubed. And that is a big mistake a lot of people will make with these, in that they try to put too much lubrication. And while it seems intuitive that you get these things well lubed, they're going to run smoother, but what you're really doing is creating a media for residue to build up in the rails and inside the slide, and actually will be counterproductive in the long run. So the next step will be, let's get to the barrel cleaning. Okay, we're at the point where we're going to be doing the barrel cleaning, and I'm sure you can see the running water, which is not always assimilated with firearms and cleaning, but we're going to use an approach that's been working well for me for a while. Now, this is the Glock 29 barrel that I just took out. Glock 27. And the KKM 10 mil from the Glock 20. Now, the first two barrels I have already pre-treated with product I like to use is Wipeout. It's a good foaming cleanser. It's high in, smells like it's high in ammonia, but with barrels that are outside the weapon, I don't have a problem with that. So I let that sit in there for a couple hours. But that's not always necessary. As I said, this one, the Glock 29 barrel, has not been treated, so we're going to use the balance of the cleaning procedure to clean all these all these barrels, and see how they come out. And the magic of the system is, yeah, you guessed it, simple green. Another good one to use is Crud Cutter. These have oxidizing agents in them. They're very, very good for getting the crud out of those weapons. They're not really effective for the barrels that you're going to have leading in. It'll get some of it out, but you're going to have to work a little harder if you've got leading. It'll get some of the brass out, or I'm sorry, copper. But if you're using high pressure rounds, some of that brass is going to be really tucked into the rifling, so you're going to have to do a little more elbow grease with those. But we're going to go with what we've got right now. So I've got the barrel ready, sat for a while with the Wipeout in it. Now I'm just going to spray some simple green down the bore. And I don't know if you can see in the sink, I'm already starting to get carbon out of it. And what I'll do is I'll just let it sit. 27 barrel. Spray everything really well, let it sit. And then the 29 barrel. Now this is the untreated. We're going to see how Simple Green does on its own. Alright. I'm going to let those sit for about 10 minutes. Alright, so we've let the barrels soak for a little bit. So what I'm going to do is spray. I'm using one of the nylon brushes that you get in a Glock. Actually, I think this one I bought at one of the sporting goods stores. I tend to favor nylon brushes over brass brushes when I'm doing this. So let's spray this up, and you can see the oxidizing action already taking effect on the brush. It's bubbling up pretty good. So let's start with the KKM. And as you can see, I'm going to try and get the bubbling going on in the above the feed ramp there, inside the chamber. You can see a little of it. It's really going on throughout the entire barrel there. Bubbling action similar to hydrogen peroxide on an open wound. The oxidizing agent and peroxide bubbles out a lot of surface pathogens. And here we just take the barrel. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that. There's no way to do that, but there's like a shampoo parlor inside that barrel, so we're going to wash that out. Mirror clean. Now, another thing I do, for those of you that are concerned about all this water on steel, what I do finish up with is a couple more steps. I spray down the entire barrel with alcohol, which is a dehydrating agent. There's one clean barrel, and we'll get close-ups later on what's going on inside. So we'll set this aside, and we'll go to the Glock 27 barrel. And you can see that it's not a lot, but the brush is picking up a lot of that carbon. Now with the polygonal barrels and Glocks, it's more conducive for the majority of the cleaning. The rifling doesn't lend itself to fouling as much as other rifling. And that is also clean. So I'll dehydrate it a little bit. pretty clean Glock 27 barrel. And the final player in the match here is our Glock 29, and I don't know if you can see that, but look at this is the one that's untreated, but there's a bunch of carbon that just came out of that. And look at the brush now. Alright, doesn't seem like Simple Green's one of them high dollar cleaners, but it works. It works. Yeah. Look at the difference now. Washed out the howling. Brush it white again. And another one, since we didn't pre-treat this with the wipeout. And you'll see the brush is coming out clean now. Barrel is clean. As you see, the cleaning process for that barrel is clean. Cleaning process for 3 Glock barrels was less than, I want to say, 15 minutes. And now we'll proceed to the final step on the barrel cleaning. Okay, so now we're ready for the final step in the barrel cleaning. I know we dehydrated it with the alcohol, and these barrels are dry, but I'm very conservative, so I like to do a final step with them, and that is with some ballistol. I will run a swab down each barrel. And then wipe each barrel's outside. Now you don't want to get carried away with too much oil in these firearms. As I mentioned earlier, a good surface coating to make sure that we're going to prevent any kind of rust or issues with the metal. And then we'll do the same with the KKM. And finally, the 29. These barrels are done. What did that take? Probably about 20 minutes at the most. I'll set these up so that we can check out what kind of job I did on the KKM. $29. And the 27. Okay. I'll be reorienting the camera and see if we can get some images down the barrels and see if I missed. Alright, we're going to take a look at the end result on the barrels and the cleaning. Sorry, you guys are going to have to kind of bear with my hand trimmers again. There's no real way to get an image down on these barrels without. Here's the Glock 27 barrel, and as you can see, that is nice and clean. I'll go to the Glock 29 barrel. I'm sorry, this is such a poor way to do this. But and now we'll take a look at the Glock 29 barrel. As you can see, it's also very clean. I wish I had a better way of doing this. And then finally the KKM. All of them are clean and good to go. In a very, very short period of time and a minimum amount of elbow grease, which I like. So we'll move on to the lowers. The lowers I don't do a lot with, brush them out a little bit. And then we'll tackle the slides. Alright, so now we're at the slide cleaning stage. And here again, I deviate from the norm, and some of you are probably going to think I'm a little off center on this, but it works. I've been doing it for a couple years now. And as I said in the beginning, earlier, your preliminary preparation will lend itself to expediting your cleaning processes later on. I got a little bit of light out here. I can show you. These are again the slides without any cleaning being done to them. Okay. So there's just not a lot of anything. This is my Glock 27 slide. There. Glock 20. Yeah. And so on. And then finally we have the Glock 29. Again, pretty much everything's the same. No unusual residue, powder buildup, or dirt. So, what is my procedure for cleaning these slides? And it is a little unorthodox. Grab yourself some regular rubbing alcohol, right? Have at it. Spray the hell out of it. Alcohol is a great little mild solvent. It's a dehydrator, as I said earlier, so you're not putting a bunch of water into the weapon. And it's very effective and cheap. Very cheap. And what I'll do next is grab a clean cotton cloth, just kind of rub it down. Now, for all the rounds that I shot through the 29, and a lot of them being very high-powered rounds, it's not a whole heck of a lot of dirt to come out of an entire slide. And where you'll find the biggest concentration of carbon buildup is right around the extractor. And what I'll do is pretty simple. Take a cleaning patch, hydrate it with alcohol. The other reason I use alcohol, especially around the extractor and the firing pin area, is you don't want to get oil or any kind of oil-based cleaner in this area on any Glock. And I just run it back and forth under the extractor, over the head, and does a pretty nice job of getting the carbon buildup out. Again, another quick rub down on that is a clean slide. Less than, oh, what did that take me? Minute and a half, couple minutes. And I want to really reiterate the point that you do not want to get any oil or oil-based cleaners in the firing pin area, in this area right here. These striker-fired weapons, the firing pin is very sensitive to oil buildup, and if you get an oil buildup in the firing pin area, you're going to have issues with your weapon. Alright, so this is the 27 slide. Again, we were shooting quite a few different rounds, those mag safes, those shot shells, and speared wool dots. Alright, so now same thing, take a patch, soak it with some alcohol, work it under the extractor, and back and forth. Across the case head, or the bolt head, you want to call it that. It's not really a bolt, but and it does get the carbon off. So got that all cleaned out. Wipe her down a second time just for good measure. One clean Glock 27 slide. Another minute and a half. Okay. Now, granted, this, I mean, you can really get into complete takedown of your slide. I find that with my choice of powders and loads, that becomes unnecessary work. As you can see, these slides are pretty much staying clean as a result of the powder choices. And so now that's the final one here. We'll do with the extractor head. Back and forth, back and forth. And some clean burning stuff. Lock, slide, wipe down. And a third one, done deal. Okay. So we've got the slides done, we've got the barrels done. Final steps would be cleaning the lowers and reassembly, oil and reassembly, lube and reassembly. Hold on then, we'll get to that. Alright, so we've got the lowers. Here's the Glock 20. It's my 27, 29. I do a preliminary brushing. It's not really necessary. Once again, I hate to beat a dead horse, but one of the major advantages of reloading is you have a choice of powders that you can choose from, and you can keep your weapon running pretty clean just by the right choice. This has not been addressed since I disassembled it. What I'm going to do is just take another swipe, patch, soak it with alcohol. You notice I like the alcohol approach to these. I wipe down all the parts that are going to be lubed because they're the ones that are going to get some new oil, and if there's any chance of fouling going on, this is where they would be on all the metal areas on the. So I mean, that's it. That's clean. You just don't want to get too carried away with the overdoing it with these polymers. Get the contact areas clean. Make sure they're lubed, not over lubed, and your weapon will serve you for many, many years. Alright, we're getting to the point where it's time to start thinking about oiling these up. The Glock manual states specifically that you are try to avoid overzealous oiling of these firearms, and I agree with it for the reasons previously stated. So you want to oil specific areas, the metal contact areas. Alright. And for this purpose, I got one of these little cute little oilers, filled it up with some ballistol, and this way you can control specifically amount of oil in a specific area. Less than a drop in any one area. Okay. Now, we are being very, very judicious about the amount of oil we're putting. Like I said, just a drop on metal contact areas, and that's it. Finally, the Glock 20, same approach. All right. Now, assembly. Let's start with the Glock 29. Okay. There's one more drop of oil that you're going to want to put, and I usually try to be very, very cautious with the amount of oil I put in this area, because I've already put some oil on the barrel itself. You want right in the foot of the slide, one drop, even less than a drop, right there. So I just put a drop in, take my finger and just rub it around a little bit, and then I run it around where the barrel comes through the slide. That's it. No more. Okay. That's all the oil you want in your slide. Okay. So take that, put your barrel in. One last drop, as far as I'm concerned, right on the barrel lug. Okay. Small amount. Alright, so my Laser Max guide rod spring goes in. Clean Glock 29. Alright, once again, we'll do the Glock 20. We've already got the slide or the lower lubed. One little drop in the hood. Rub it around a little in the opening. That's it. Very, very small amount. Drop your barrel in. A little drop on the plug. Clean Glock 20. And last but not least, Glock 27. And I at a loss for my guide rod spring assembly is right now. So as you know, the process is going to be identical, and we'll finish off with that. We'll have 3 Glocks ready to rock and roll. You have a good day.